Hey everyone, stop what you're doing right now because in the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you whether you're actually getting that $2,000 stimulus check everyone's talking about, who really qualifies, when the money could hit your bank account, and why there's a huge chance a lot of you might never see a dime of it. Plus, I'm breaking down a brand new Social Security rule change that could completely block thousands of older Americans from getting disability benefits they've paid into for decades. So if you're on Social Security, SSDI, SSI, Medicare, or you just want extra cash in 2026, you need to watch this entire video because missing this could cost you thousands. Hit that like button right now if you're ready for the truth, smash subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss an update that puts money in your pocket, and drop your city and state in the comments so I know where my people are watching from, and let's jump straight in. First, the $2,000 stimulus check everyone keeps asking me about. Here's the latest straight from the Trump administration this week. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick went on national television and confirmed President Trump wants to send tariff rebate checks of up to $2,000, but he stressed it will only go to people who actually need the money, meaning there will be an income cap. Earlier this month, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent floated the idea that families making $100,000 a year or less would qualify, and single filers would probably have a lower cutoff around $75,000, very similar to the COVID stimulus rounds. That's huge for seniors and people on fixed incomes because if your total income stays under that threshold, you should still get the full amount, even if you're collecting Social Security, SSDI, VA benefits, or a pension. Age doesn't disqualify you, and being on government benefits doesn't disqualify you either. As long as your adjusted gross income is below the limit, you're in the game. Now, before you get too excited, President Trump himself said in the Oval Office last week that these checks are not coming before Christmas. They're looking at sometime before mid-2026, possibly spring or summer, so anybody promising you money by Christmas is flat out wrong. The government funding mess and the timing of everything pushed it into next year.
So, is this $2,000 check actually going to happen, or is it all talk? Look, I'm going to give it to you straight. The way I see it, there are four massive reasons this thing could fall apart. And one giant reason I think it still ends up in your bank account. Reason number one, the money just doesn't add up. The administration is counting on new tariff revenue to pay for these checks. Current projections show about $154 billion collected in 2025 and roughly $207 billion in 2026. That's only about $360 billion total over 2 years. Experts who ran the numbers say sending $2,000 to every adult with income under $100K would cost at least $280 billion. And if they open it up to everyone, it jumps to $600 billion or more. Plus, President Trump keeps saying he wants to use tariff money to pay down the $37 trillion national debt. So there's a very real chance there simply isn't enough cash to go around without adding to the deficit, which many Republicans hate. Reason number two, Congress isn't exactly rushing to write the check. Back in the summer, there was talk of a smaller $600 or $1,000 payment, and even that never got off the ground. Jumping to $2,000 is a whole different price tag, and a lot of fiscal hawks in the House and Senate are dragging their feet. Reason number three, inflation fears are still fresh. A lot of economists and politicians still blame the 2021 and 2022 stimulus rounds for keeping prices sky high. And nobody wants to be the one who pumps another $500 billion into the economy right when inflation is finally cooling off. Reason number four, and this is the biggest one right now, the entire tariff plan is tied up in a Supreme Court case that could strike down the president's authority to impose many of these new tariffs. The oral arguments already happened, and several justices sounded extremely skeptical. If the court rules against the administration, all the tariff money collected so far has to be refunded, and the whole funding mechanism for the stimulus collapses. That decision could come anytime between now and June 2026. So realistically, nothing is moving until the court speaks.
Now here's the one huge reason I still think you're going to see money. Politics. Plain and simple. We have midterm elections in 2026, and if the economy is still sluggish or grocery prices are still crushing families next spring, President Trump and Republicans are going to need something big to show voters. Sending every middle-class and lower-income household $1,000 or $2,000 right before an election is the kind of move that wins seats in Congress. When Trump really wants something from a Republican-controlled House and Senate, history shows he usually gets it. Look at the big tax cut bill.
Look at the recent spending package. So my personal opinion is if the economy needs a jolt heading into election season, these checks will get forced through one way or another. Maybe not $2,000, maybe $1,000 or $1,500, but something will hit bank accounts to put money back in people's pockets. So stay watchful, because this story is changing fast. Switching gears to something that has me really upset. The Trump administration is quietly planning a major change to Social Security disability rules that could slam the door on thousands of older Americans trying to get benefits. Right now, when Social Security reviews a disability application, they look at age, education, work history, and how much function you have left. Once you hit age 50, the rules get a little easier because everybody understands it's harder to retrain or start a new career in your 50s and 60s. According to multiple reports, the new plan is to either raise that favorable age threshold to 60 or remove age as a positive factor completely. That single change could cut new disability approvals for people 50 to 62 by up to 30%. We're talking about folks who've paid into the system for 30 or 40 years. They get injured or sick, they can't do their old job anymore, and now the government wants to make it even tougher to get the benefits they've earned. The average SSDI check is only about $1,500 a month. That's barely survival money, and without it, a lot of these people will be completely destitute until they hit full retirement age. I think this is one of the worst ideas I've heard in a long time because it punishes the exact workers who've paid the most into the system. If you agree this change is unfair, drop "Stop the Cut" in the comments right now and share this video with every senior or disabled person you know, because the more noise we make, the harder it is for them to sneak this through.
And finally, we are smack in the middle of Medicare open enrollment, which ends December 7th. Plans are changing dramatically in 2025. Millions of people on Medicare Advantage are getting dropped from their current plans, drug formularies are shifting, Plan F is completely phased out for new enrollees, Plan G is now the gold standard, and if you're on original Medicare in certain states, you're going to need prior authorization for more services than ever. Do not just let your plan auto-renew without checking, because you could end up with higher premiums, bigger copays, or missing drug coverage next year. I've partnered with a free service called Chapter that has licensed advisors who will review every option in your zip code with no bias and no pressure. They've already helped over 4,000 people who watch these videos save money and get better coverage. Just call 539-205-2147. Yes, they're open weekends too, because open enrollment is crazy busy. Tell them you heard about them here and they'll take great care of you. Or if the line is busy, just leave a message and they'll call you right back. Do it this week so you don't miss the deadline. That's everything you need to know today about the $2,000 stimulus possibility, the disability rule attack, and protecting your Medicare for 2025. If this video helped you even a little bit, please hit that like button so YouTube shows it to more people who need this information. Share it with your friends and family, drop your city in the comments, and most importantly, subscribe and hit the bell because I'm posting new money and benefit updates every single day, and you do not want to miss the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next video.